A very good evening to you wherever you're watching us from tonight. It is the 29th day of October 2022. We have a couple of stories in store for you. After the highlights, my name is ODIDA. Our sign language interpreter tonight is Pascal Victor. All right, let's get right into it. Kenya Electricity Generating Company Kengen Board of Directors has appointed Abraham Serem as Acting Manager Director and Chief Executive Officer. Serem replaces Rebecca Miano, who recently joined President Ruto's cabinet. The new CEO joined Kengen in 2016 as General Manager, Human Resource and Administration.
Abraham Serem, a seasoned human resource manager, has taken over the reins at Kengen, albeit in an acting capacity. According to a press release announcing the change, Serem will oversee the transition in Kengen leadership, even as the search for a suitable and substantive MD and CEO continues. Prior to joining Kengen in March 2016, Serem worked for various multinational companies, including Nampak, Rekit Benkaisa, and alcoholic beverage producers Heineken and East Africa Breweries. Rebecca Miano, who has been steering the Kengen ship, opted for a cabinet position in the new government, creating a power vacuum at the electricity producing company. Her legacy includes a revenue diversification strategy and expansion of the company's consultancy services to cover markets in Ethiopia and Djibouti. Miano led Kengen through an action-packed phase of steady growth, which continued over the duration of her leadership, putting Kengen family on an upward trajectory, says Kengen Board Chairman General Retired Samson Mwathethe. He continues to say in the same statement, her biggest test was perhaps the COVID-19 pandemic, which threatened energy utilities across the world, but she was able to steady the ship and deliver good results, even at the peak of COVID-19 restrictions. Abraham Serem already has his work clearly cut out with the energy sector, now under the stewardship of C.S. Davis Chirchir. Dennis Omondi, KUTV.
Now, with logging being termed as one of the main causes of climatic change that results to shortage of rain in the country, a multinational horticultural company in Muranga has launched a program of building environmentally friendly jikos to help mitigate logging and drought in general, as Eugene Mayabi now reports.
As hunger continues to strike most parts of the country due to the ongoing drought, a multinational horticultural company known as Kakuzi, which is located in Muranga County, has launched a program of building environmental-friendly jikos to mitigate logging, which is currently causing lack of adequate rainfall in the country. According to members of the community who benefited with the program, the jiko consume less firewoods and cook faster than the traditional jikos.
Hapo awali tulikuwa tunatumia jiko ya mawe tatu, lakini sasa tunatumia hiyo jiko walitujengea. Na sasa hata watoto hatupelekagi watoto hospitali juu walikuwa na magonjwa tofauti ya kifua juu ya moshi.
Nakutumia kuni mingi, natumia kuni kidogo tu. Na dogo hakuna. Sasa natumia kuni ya 100 wiki 3. Hiyo bereni natumia ya 200 wiki moja.
Kakuzi has also been in the forefront in training youths in the county on how to make the jikos and in turn rewarding them with jobs to build them to the members of the community.
Sasikia Kakuzi kuna majiko na kuja na ndio tukaitwa mafundi na watu wengine wa mikono, tukafundishwa kama wiki moja hivi, na hiyo wiki moja tulikuwa tunalipa kitu kama 800 hivi, na tukafanya wiki moja na tukalipa.
According to Community Liaison Officer Andrew Thuo, so far Kakuzi company has built 600 jikos in Maragua constituency, with residents being supplied with firewoods for consumption.
Tangu huu mradi ukuje, wamama wameweza kupata kuni kutoka kwa Kakuzi. Alafu tena ili jiko linapunguza hali ama wakati kwa sababu mama hapo mbeleni alikuwa anatumia muda mwingi, siku hizi anatumia muda kidogo.
The company has also been leading the community in planting trees by providing free avocado seedlings in a bid to increase the forest cover in the county and the region as a whole.
We used to have 14.5 forest cover in Murang'a, but now it has increased. The analysis that was done, or the assessment that was done recently, we are having a forest cover of 25% in Murang'a.
The company is now encouraging students and pupils countrywide to participate in tree planting exercise in order to curb drought in the coming years. Eugene Mayabi, KUTV.
The Kitui County government has given hundreds of illegal herders a 10-day deadline to leave or face eviction by security troops. The herders were given 10 days to leave with their livestock by a security committee headed by Evans Achoki, the Eastern Regional Commissioner, and James Kianda, his northeastern counterpart.
During a peace meeting at Kasiluni Market between local residents and the camel herders from Garissa County, residents have complained that they graze their camels on farms without consent from landowners. The herders have therefore agreed to vacate farms and allow owners to prepare their land for farming as the country expects rain next month. In order to prevent conflict between camel herders and inhabitants when herders return to Mwingi North to graze their camels, Evans Achoki, the Eastern Regional Commissioner, claimed that a clear directive had been agreed upon. Achoki urged locals to report instances of trespassing so that authorities might take appropriate action rather than advising them to hurt or kill camels. As farmers get ready for the rainy season, Mwingi North MP Paul Nzengu stated that they deserve peace and should not spend the night in the bushes out of fear of being attacked. He stated that, with the exception of a few offenders, the herders from Garissa and the inhabitants of Mwingi North have coexisted peacefully.
Wamesema kwamba mvua inanyesha raundi itakuwa fupi sana. Kwa hivyo tunataka tutayarisha mashamba, na sisi hatuna uadui na watu wa kutoka Western. Wale watu wametukosea wachache ni wale wafugaji, wale ambao wanalisha ngamia. Wanakuja wanabaka wasichana wetu
na tumewasikiza kama viongozi, lakini mgeni akija kama hajaalikwa atoke ndio aalikwe. Hilo ndio msimamo wetu.
The request for an end to the instability between farmers and herders comes just a week after President William Ruto instructed authorities to do so. In order to reduce tension in the region, Kitui Governor Julius Malombe promised to build 6 police stations inside the borders of Kitui and Tana River counties last week during a service of Thanksgiving in Kitui. For KUTV, I am Susan Wayaki.
Thank you, Wayaki, for that report. Now, over 10,000 school-going children from Machakos County's Mavoko Sub-County have benefited from the national government's relief food distribution program. The children are among the 63,000 people in Athi River Sub-County recognized by the government as the most impacted by the continuing drought and in need of relief food.
According to the local leaders, the ongoing drought had harmed 10,007 pupils from 38 public schools in the River Sub-County. The leaders noted that 12,600 houses were impacted, resulting in a population of 63,000 individuals in the Metropolitan Sub-County. They expressed their gratitude to the government through the State Department of Social Protection, noting that they received 320 bags of beans and 800 bags of rice. According to the leaders, the sub-county is enormous, reaching to Kyumbi, Konza City and Joska, and is densely inhabited, with 12,600 impacted homes unable to fend for themselves. The drought has had an impact on animals and humans, particularly in the areas where the majority of inhabitants cultivate and raise cattle. According to the leaders, the sub-county drought mitigation committee, along with stakeholders, provided 86 bags of rice and 43 bags of beans to school-going children. They urged all stakeholders and well-wishers to help disadvantaged households by contributing food to assist the government in reducing the consequences of the drought and saving lives. Following the country's growing drought, the government has launched an initiative to provide rescue food to a total of 509,305 afflicted Machakos inhabitants. For KUTV, I am Teresia Maluki.
All right, that story by Maluki is taking us to our first short break here at KUTV. Stay tuned.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Unemployment has hit you hard. Your salary is meager. You decide to venture into business, but you're struggling to thrive in it. You would want to reap a big tip on how not to run into losses.
Forget the preachy business laws, the hyperbolic motivational speeches, and all the roads down desperation.
Hope has come with model stories from small successful entrepreneurs. We tell you these tales weekly on The Budding Entrepreneur. Join us as we help you make your trade profitable and often smile to the bank.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. Women, young and old, are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back to the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Technovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Make a date with me, Samson Jura, every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Welcome back. Let's continue the bulletin. Her Excellency Pastor Dorcas Rigathi has today launched food distribution in Kantonzweni, Makueni County. In her address, Mrs. Gachagua said the Kenyan people have high expectations in the Ruto Gachagua government. She exuded optimism that no Kenyan will die out of hunger amid the current biting drought. She also called upon Kenyans and all leaders to unite and help those affected by drought. Listening.
It is my appeal to all Kenyans of goodwill to arise to the great need of saving lives of our fellow countrymen and women. Moment of crisis, the drought we are experiencing across the nation that has the longest in the last 40 years, has led to immense food insecurity.
A team of health officers in Murang'a County have embarked on a crackdown to ensure packaged foods sold to residents meet the required nutrients value. The team, which consists of public and health promotion officers and nutritionists, will visit food stores in the county to ensure consumed commodities meet the fortification requirement.
In an effort to ensure safe food commodities are sold to residents, Murang'a County Health Promotion Officer Mr. Danson Mwangi said a team consisting of 28 health officers and 12 nutritionists have been trained on how to confirm if the packaged commodities, which include wheat flour, packaged maize meal flour, fats and oils, have the required nutrients, as well as to take samples to be tested in laboratories. The health promotion officer observed that the micronutrient deficiencies have remained a significant public health challenge in the country, with the most common deficiencies being zinc, iron and vitamin A. Fortification of wheat flour, packaged maize meal flour, fats and oils was made mandatory in Kenya since June 2012 through the amendment of the Food, Drugs and Chemical Substances Act. According to Mwangi, the government has put in place 4 strategies to prevent, control and manage micronutrient deficiencies. The strategies include dietary diversification, food fortification, micronutrient supplementation and disease prevention. The health officers will be visiting food stores, supermarkets and retail shops. The surveillance and sampling of food is sponsored by the county government of Murang'a in partnership with the Nutrition International Organization. Eugene Mayabi, KUTV.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has gazetted vacancies for the Kandara and Garissa Township MP seats. The vacancies follow Parliament's approval of Alice Wahome and Aden Duale as Cabinet Secretaries, following their nomination by President William Ruto for the water and defense dockets respectively. The move now paves way for by-elections to be held by IEBC.
Kandara and Garissa town constituents will now go back for a by-election after their legislatures assume higher powers in the executive. On Thursday, Aden Duale and Alice Wahome took oath of office as Cabinet Secretaries for Defense, Water and Sanitation after resigning as members of Parliament. In a Gazette notice circulated on Friday by National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, Kandara read, pursuant to Articles 101(4)A and 103(1)D of the Constitution, as read with Section 16(3) of the Elections Act, number 24 of 2011, it is notified for the general information of the public that the seat of the member of the National Assembly for Kandara constituency, elected under Articles 97(1)A of the Constitution, has become vacant with effect from 26 October 2022. In another notice on Garissa Township, it read,
the fundamental right to seek and disseminate information through an independent press is under attack, and part of the assault has come from an unexpected source. Elected leaders in many democracies who should be press freedom's staunchest defenders. When Russia invaded Ukraine, Russian journalists who continued to work independently in the country came under significant pressure, such that many have been forced to leave.
Mikhail Rubin, Deputy Editor-in-Chief of the investigative news outlet Proyekt, continues to do his job from outside Russia, like hundreds of other Russian journalists who fled the country following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. In 2021, Proyekt was included on a Russian government list of undesirable organizations, and its journalists were labeled foreign agents. Rubin weathered years of threats over Proyekt's coverage of President Vladimir Putin's inner circle before leaving in 2021. First, a high-ranking official warned Rubin that what he was doing was dangerous. Next, unknown men broke into his parents' apartment, screaming, "Isn't your son ashamed to sell out his homeland?" Then police raided Ruben's apartment in June 2021 and placed his passport in front of him.
I took it as a hint and decided not to test my fate after that.
Yekaterina Fomina, a journalist at the investigative portal called iStories, also left Russia. Russian authorities labeled the media outlet a foreign agent in 2021, and 2 days before the war, it was added to the list of undesirable organizations. After learning about the listing in March, members of iStories' team unanimously decided to leave Russia. But Fomina adds leaving Russia was never her plan. At first, she was uneasy about iStories being labeled an undesirable, but that soon changed. The mass killings in Bucha, Ukraine, became the turning point.
I realized that the enemies of the people, criminals, extremists, and undesirables are not us. So I don't care what the Russian Federation calls me, because I know that Russia, its governments and authorities are actual terrorists and enemies of the people, not us.
Organizations on the so-called undesirables list are prohibited from working in Russia, and those that continue to help these organizations can face administrative penalties or criminal charges. Fomina says that despite the risks, Russians inside the country are reaching out to the team.
Because of this war, people are terrified, but they are ready to share what they know, tell stories about lawlessness that takes place in Russia.
As of late October, at least 12 journalists are facing charges in Russia related to the war coverage and face up to 10 years in prison. Galina Arapova, senior media lawyer and director at the Mass Media Defense Center, says Russia has been intentionally passing vague laws.
Censorship has gone rogue, so laws and regulations are being changed to have a chance to target anyone if the need arises.
In many cases, this strategy has worked. Hundreds of journalists have left Russia since the start of the war, but that hasn't stopped many of them from doing their job.
All right, we are taking our second short break. We're coming back with sports. Stay tuned.
We are going to make a grilled chicken salad that is going to be served together with a classic Italian dressing.
Imagine living in a society that embraces social justice and equal opportunities for all. On Woman Crush Wednesday, Rise Today, we bring you experts for meaningful conversations on matters gender equality.
Mimi nasaona hakuna gender equality as we speak.
So we continuously work with the men.
I feel that they're judging the girl. Parenthood.
Mind is very important in infertility.
Mental and physical health.
You need to be surrounded by a proper network.
After the healing process, nilikumbuka kuhusu boys the saying in the again. Kila wakati nilikuwa kutafuta mbinu yenye naweza wafikishia ujumbe.
I feel like if you have 15 minutes, if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever amount of time, use it, because any physical activity is beneficial. No physical activity is dangerous for you.
And we touch on current affairs.
Marrying is a journey. It means you're taking a journey together.
I'm dying to be different. Changamoto ziko, but you can't sit there saying, oh, mimi nitafanya mziki siku yenye do zitakam. You look at this person and you're like, wow, They just woke up and they found themselves here.
Join us every Wednesday morning at 7 to 10 a.m. here on Rise Today Woman Crush Wednesday. I am your host, Nina Gikunda.
Children are really respected. Their views are respected, and in this country we have even a parliament for children. We have an assembly for children where they meet and discuss their issues. So they have a say, they have a voice, and the laws and the government, like we said, has really tried to enlarge that voice.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. 6 teams have confirmed participation in the 3rd series of the Masters Hockey Tournament slated for Nakuru from November 5th to 6th. The 2-day event follows the preliminary series hosted in Nairobi and Mombasa consecutively and is being organized by the Nakuru County Hockey Association in collaboration with Kenya Hockey Union. The tournament will only register women above the age of 35, while men must be 40 years and above. This follows a survey conducted before the first series in which Kenya failed to qualify due to mass variations in the age groups registered. Homeboys prodigy Amon Wamalwa and UK-based Joshua Weru are the new names in Paul Odera's squad for next week's Rugby World Cup playoffs in Dubai. Odera says the duo's inclusion can be attributed to their stellar progress in training and is confident the two can impact on the team's performance. However, Simbas will be without playmakers John Kubu, who is sidelined with an injury, and Kenya Sevens wing sensation Colin Sinjera, who has alternative commitments. The squad, which is currently at Pembroke School in Gilgil for their final training camp, will leave for Dubai on Monday, where they are set to confront USA, Portugal and Hong Kong. And finally, Kevin De Bruyne's stunning free kick in the second half was enough to see Man City edge Leicester City at the King